PGA Tour 2K 2025 is officially out. I want to shout out 2K for hooking me up with a copy of the game. Now, if you guys have played any golf, you've probably seen hundreds of videos breaking down mechanics of the golf swing. So I want to do a similar thing in this video where I show you guys different techniques or different styles to hold the controller, to swing the stick, because there's a lot of different ways that I've seen people do it. Now, I've been looking for mechanic or technique videos like this because I want to know how the best players are swinging the club or how they're moving the stick, and I don't really see too many, so I'm going to go through the strategies that I use, the techniques that I use, and I want you guys to let me know how you swing, what controller you guys use. I use a PS4 controller, so let me know if you guys think Xbox is best, PS4, PS5, maybe mouse and keyboard. And the last thing I want to mention before we get into the different techniques is that there's probably a bunch of techniques that you can use if you're looking for a straight back, straight through swing. But once you get to pro and higher difficulties, you'll notice here your default swing is going to be at an angle. So personally, I'm right-handed. I use the right stick, so I think playing a draw bias is probably the way to go, especially for my technique, but we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, so when you first pick up the controller, the most intuitive way to swing, that's going to be to put your thumb fingertip right on the stick. So that's kind of the way the game is designed. You can switch this to the left stick if you guys prefer using the left stick. Even if you're right-handed, maybe some people still play like that. But the thing is, your thumb has so many ways that it can bend, as well as so many positions that my hand can be here. So the variance in that is pretty high. Hard to get locked in doing that, in my opinion, which is why we're going to look at some other techniques. So the first one is going to be the pinch, right? Thumb and index finger, straight back, straight through. This one's probably a little bit harder on the higher difficulties when we get into the draw bias or fade bias. Definitely try this one out though. This could work very well for you. So the next one that I've seen people do is the double thumb. Now I'm pretty bad at this one. Don't love it for the draw bias, but two thumbs. You can do this left stick or right stick. Straight back, straight through. See, that's pretty straight, but yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too good with this one. Try it one more time. And the other thing too I want to mention is when we get into these different shot shapes or different lie angles, you really have to, like, you're always going to be wanting to swing your stick fairly straight back, straight through, but the angle of your controller is going to impact things a lot. That's where it might be really good to do practice swings when you're at some crazy lie angle. Now, I've also seen this technique, lay the controller flat on your table or your desks, and it's kind of a palm, or I like to call it the Spock. But this one, you're definitely going to have to find the right angle for your controller if you're playing a draw bias. Yeah, I could see that one being viable, but the thing is, you'd almost have to mark on your table, like to have it at the right angle for your default bias. Now there is one more option in this game, which is the mouse and keyboard. I mean, most people are going to be playing on console, I think, but I think the mouse could be viable if you're really good at like PC games and aiming. I think what you would do is, see where my mouse is here, I think what you would do is set your mouse to really high sensitivity and just kind of trace from between your two aim points. I think if you have really good mouse skills, you can do it. But the reason I don't like it too much is because the rest of the game, all the course management and shot shaping and navigating is like really clunky on the keyboard. Like all the controls don't really make sense for keyboard on sports games. They're all really designed for controllers. So yeah, I think controller is the way to go just in general. Now I'm going to show you guys the technique that I've been using. So similar to the default kind of thumb grip, but I'm going to use the knuckle part of my thumb instead of the fingertip. So I'm holding it like that, right, with my knuckle here. So what that's doing, now notice how I can bend my thumb at that point here, but from my knuckle down, it's completely rigid. So that limits the variation, that limits my range of motion, so that it's controlled entirely by my hand muscles here, my big hand muscles, and it's going to limit the variance in my swing. But that works very well for me. Now the next part we're going to get into, no matter how you swing, now you can either pull the stick back just a little bit and get it going, right? Or you can just crank it straight back, right? So with my technique, I kind of go back and forth. I'm still not sure which one I'm deciding on yet, but you can bring it just a little bit back or swing the stick straight back. I would definitely experiment with that no matter what strategy you use. So there is one more way to swing, which is called 3-click. Now to my understanding, this mode is not allowed to be used in online ranked. You must use a swing stick in ranked, but I will demonstrate how to use the 3-click method because it did confuse me for like a couple rounds when I was trying it out. So it's hold, release at the first point, double click, and then you're holding again. I did not know you had to hold again at the end. This is what I was doing the first time, and I was messing up all my putts. I was getting pretty frustrated. I was holding, release, tap, and I would just tap. And I'm like, why are my putts all getting plus 10% power? I'm timing everything perfect. But you have to hold it again. You have to hold it down again at the end. But this is, for your drives, it actually does get more power if you just tap. If you just tap at the end. But what you're supposed to do, hold down, tap, tap, hold, and then release. So it's kind of like 3 taps and 2 holds. Now one more piece of advice, especially if you're playing at pro or higher difficulty, you're gonna have a built-in swing bias. So mine's set to a draw right now. Meaning if you look here on the swing stick, I can't go straight back, straight through. I have to do it at this angle. So if you have your character set to a fade bias, it's going to be going the opposite angle by default, and you're going to have basically better accuracy the closer you are to this default swing. So if I change my shot shape, you can see this the zone is going to get a lot smaller, and it's going to become a more difficult shot relative to my my golfer's skill levels. So you're going to want to stick to your default shot as much as you can. And the thing is, if you're right-handed, using your right thumb, using this draw bias is exactly the range of motion for your right thumb on the right stick. So playing a fade bias, in my opinion, is going to make the game 10 times harder. So to change that, go to appearance and info, ball flight, and yeah, you're going to want to play a draw most likely. If you're right-handed using the right stick, I would say you want to stick with a draw. So those are the kind of different styles that I've come across so far that I think are viable. I mean, there might be people that play with their feet that could kick my butt, but let me know what style you guys use. I know there's a lot of pros out there that use different techniques. Maybe they use the left stick, right stick, one of those grips that I talked about earlier. Let me know what controller is the best. Once again, I'm on PS4 controller. That's just one that I have. Never gotten a new console because I'm on PC. But let me know what controller is the best. Maybe you use custom thumbsticks. Let me know your guys' setup, your guys' techniques. I really want to hear it. Now I have to go back to grinding the game because the game just came out. I have to go grind. I have to go stream for 14 hours, get to rank 1 in the ranked, qualify for Q School, qualify for Corn Ferry, qualify for the PGA Tour, win the Masters. I'm really busy today. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you guys learned a little bit. I've been looking for these mechanics kind of videos myself, so I figured I'd just drop one for you guys with everything that I've learned. But yeah, shout out to 2K for hooking me up with the game. You can find me at elucktv on Twitch.